What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we have a very cool double dragon team paired with Registeel, submitted by Star-Lord. What a name right there. Registeel, Haxorus, and Altaria here. Haxorus having that community day move of breaking swipe. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about Haxorus so far in the Ultra League. Getting into the first battle, we have Registeel on the lead versus Scrafty. Well, that's obviously a very tough matchup, so they're going to go ahead and swap into Haxorus and get ahead on energy, and in comes a Tapu Fini. And also tough mid-game matchup, but thankfully they can do a lot of damage with Earthquake here, as it will do neutral, and they are resisting the water guns as well, which is really going to help out. But ultimately, if a Moonblast lands from Tapu Fini, it's going to be all over here for the mid-game. Now, they do have a good answer in the back still, and they're going to let it go, calling the bait, but it is going to be Moonblast. Boom, see ya, Haxorus. They're going to go ahead and bring in that Registeel, but they do have Altaria still in the back, which is very cool about the double dragon synergy that we do see. As there are fairies now, but I don't know how often we're going to be seeing double fairies. I guess Tapu Fini and a Clefable could make a lot of sense. I personally love Clefable. Has put in some work for me so far this season. As Zap Cannon, boom, another Zap Cannon. Now they're going to swap out right away, and it's going to be a Jellicent in the back. So not another fairy type Pokemon, and a Pokemon that Altaria can beat with the 2-to-1 shield advantage. So they're going to go ahead and just go straight for Sky Attacks in this situation, as it does do neutral damage. And they do have Dazzling Gleam there as the charge move, but if you want to, you could have the Moonblast, which is Legacy. So they're going to go ahead and shield the Surf and just chunk down the Jellicent right here. I'm going to go ahead and double shield it. It's going to be another Surf. Literally just Dragon Breath down, go for Sky Attacks. The Scrafty is not going to have a very fun time, as the Altaria here is so tanky in the Ultra League that they can fully Dragon Breath down. No! The opponent gets to another charge move in time. Hopefully this isn't Ice Beam. That would be very unfortunate, but no, it's going to be another Surf right here. Now the Scrafty is going to go ahead and come in and look to go for the first charge move. I think this might be quick. Is this Power Up Punch? It is Power Up Punch. Interesting call. They're going to go ahead and look to go for Sky Attack now, forcing the final shield of this game. Hopefully. Yeah, no, the opponent decided to let it go. So they're going to go ahead and swap into Registeel now to catch the charge move. This might be a throw. Foul play. Yeah, this might be a throw. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. They get the lock on farm down. Wow. All right, game one. I thought that was a definite throw. I thought Scrafty was going to farm down and then foul play the Altaria, and it was all over. Speaking of fairies, there's Clefable. We do see a Golisopod safe swap. They're going to go ahead and bring in the Altaria, and this is a beautiful situation where you're resisting these charge moves right here. Liquidation and X-Scissor. The Shadow Claw damage will add up, but ultimately your Sky Attack is going to put so much more pressure on this Golisopod here in the mid-game. Now, they're going to constantly load up on energy right here. They don't need too much health. They actually want as little health as possible so that Clefable doesn't get to multiple charge moves, because even the resisted damage can add up. The opponent decides to let it go. They're going to come in with the Clefable, and thankfully you can do neutral damage with the Sky Attack, but they're actually going to go for the Dazzling Gleam. This might actually just land. Let's see if it does. Yeah, it does land. I feel like 2 Sky Attacks would have been the better option there. But ultimately, oh, they almost got the Sky Attack off. That would have been beautiful. They're going to go ahead and come in with the Registeel, and you guys are going to see it doesn't do too much damage. But Moonblast, it adds up. Like, if you do enough 15% charge moves, eventually 100% of the health will be gone, right? If you math it out, like 2 Moonblasts, that's 50% right there. We're going to see a swap out. I didn't see what it was, but they're going to go ahead and go for the Zap Cannon right away, and it was Jellicent. Okay, beautiful. So now they can come in with Haxorus and easily go for Breaking Swipe right here. Build up to that Earthquake to threaten, and obviously you got to watch out for the charge moves, so they're going to go ahead and shield. It is just going to be another Surf shield bait. I think that's the moral of the story with Jellicents these days, is Surf shield baits or Surf neutral damage. This Breaking Swipe is going to land, and it does lower the attack of the opponent. Really cool charge move to have now on Haxorus. And you can pair it with Night Slash or Shadow Ball, but ultimately Breaking Swipe was a beautiful addition, as they're now going to go for the Earthquake. And Jellicent could make a play here and shield this. Let's see if they decide to. Yeah, they do. All right, this is now where things get dangerous, as they're going to go ahead and swap out into the Clefable now, as they're going to go for the Breaking Swipe to lower the attack of the Clefable and then swapping out. But ultimately, this is tough as Registeel can come in and farm down. But, like I said before, you get enough Moonblasts in that Clefable can take out a Registeel. So let's see. They're going to have to throw unless they decide to shield. No, they decide to throw. Okay, throwing the Focus Blast right here. It is resisted, but Clefable is low enough where it's going to do enough damage to take them out. And now they should be able to... I don't know if they get to the Zap Cannon in time. They're going to let it go! The Surf! Not enough to KO. And they... Wow, what a flex right there. Understanding the bulk that their Registeel has. As they get to the Zap Cannon in time. Who was worried? Boom. See ya. Moving to the next one right away. Galvantula here on the lead. So we'll have to see how they decide to play this out. But Zap Cannon and Focus Blast, not the best of movesets versus Galvantula, as we will see discharges come through. And they're going to go ahead and swap out now into Haxorus to get ahead on energy and look to go for that Breaking Swipe right away before another charge move can come through from Galvantula. Now we got to see what the play is by the opponent as Breaking Swipe does land. So this is an opportunity for Haxorus to... Oh, they're going to no shield. It is going to be the lunge that does a good amount of damage. We will see a Mandibuzz swap in. So Breaking Swipe obviously going to be the move of choice here as Earthquake is going to be resisted. And a good setup for them. This Breaking Swipe not only does some decent damage, but it lowers that attack, which is going to help out with Registeel here on the back end. Not that Registeel really needs it. It's the steel trash can, obviously. But lowering the damage of those foul plays is going to be crucial for the remaining health for the rest of this game. So they're going to go ahead and go for the Zap Cannon right away. Not enough to KO, but might be an opportunity for... Actually, I don't think you farm down. They actually swap out into Altaria to catch the charge move, saving all the energy on Registeel as Dark Pulse will land. Doesn't do too much thanks to Breaking Swipe debuff, which is paying off. It's paying dividends here in these battles, as Aerial Ace definitely not going to do enough. Jellicent now is going to be swapped in, as they will go for Sky Attacks right here to do neutral damage. Now, what was the lead? I've shoutcasted so many battles today. Did a burst of shoutcasts. For anyone wondering, yeah, most of you guys are usually watching by this time. Something really cool is happening this week. My dad is coming to visit in England to meet my kids for the first time. I'm super excited. So I'm blast shoutcasting as many battles as possible so that I can spend as much time with my dad, because they're going to be meeting the kids and the kids are going to be meeting him all for the first time. Obviously, we've been having voice calls and whatnot, so they've been talking to the kids, but meeting my dad for the first time, it's going to be really cool. Now, back to the... Oh, it was Galvantula lead. That's what it was. My mind was drifting a little bit right there in the mid-game. But ultimately, super excited for this week. As a lot of you may not know, or maybe you do know, I live in England, and I do have two kids, a 3-year-old and 2-year-old boy and girl. So it's going to be a fun couple of weeks here. But Altaria now, I think might be able to take this. They're going to go ahead and no shield the Surf. That's a good call right there. Look to Dragon Breath down and have a charge move on the back end. They got to shield this next one. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and shield Dragon Breath down, and that should be a good game as they do stop the Surf right there. And yep, let's see if they can do enough damage on the back end. Yeah, definitely enough. Mandibuzz was low enough. I wasn't too sure how much health was remaining because I did go on a little story time about what's happening in my life. But anyways, moving to the next game. Shiny Runerigus on the other side. That is interesting. Okay, now they're going to go ahead and throw the Breaking Swipe. This could be a Night Slash, right? So the opponent might shield. No, they decide to no shield right there. They did drop the attack, so they got to watch out for Shadow Ball, but they're going to go ahead and look to no shield it, as it was actually a Rock Tomb right there, which does lower the attack of Haxorus. So now it's just a back and forth right here, but ultimately the Shadow Claws from Runerigus are adding up. Breaking Swipe gets no shielded once again, and now they could go for it. No, they're going to go ahead and throw the charge move. This might just be another Rock Tomb right here. Yeah, it is going to be another Rock Tomb. So Haxorus is going to go down. This is a tough situation. I think coming in with Altaria, I think might be the call with the Dragon Breath damage. And you don't really have to worry about the Rock Tomb because of the double Breaking Swipe right here. So they can just commit to the farm down. You can save the shield. Yes, it is super effective damage, but it's not stab and it got double debuffed. So yeah, not too much damage right there. they can safely farm down. All right, let's see what's in the back. It is going to be a Golisopod and a Chestnut. So obviously Altaria in a very favorable situation right here. This did look to be Vine Whip, I believe, on Chestnut. Might have to take a second look. Yeah, it is Vine Whip. And they aren't throwing the superpower just yet. So something to note. This is weird. You might be thinking, why didn't they throw the superpower? Because it does do, well, super effective damage. It's because you get debuffed, and these charge moves are going to be doing so much more damage that they did get the attack drop there, unfortunately, for Chestnut from the Zap Cannon. Now they can go for Focus Blast here, where Registeel, this is why Registeel is like the greatest Pokemon in the Ultra League, is so lethal that the opponent cannot KO it. I think they get to another superpower in time, but ultimately, it doesn't matter. Superpower, oh, it was just enough. But now we see the Golisopod coming in. This Altaria has a lot of energy. So 3 Sky Attacks is what's going to be needed right here, along with Dragon Breath damage. They get 1. Here comes the second. But Golisopod does have access to Shadow Claw and Liquidation. And they're actually going to Shield Bait with X-Scissor, which is a huge play right there from the opponent. But ultimately, I think Altaria is going to have this. Switch Clock might be up in time for the Golisopod to try to catch the next... No, it's not going to be up in... maybe after this charge move. Maybe. I think it's still a couple seconds away, but it's going to be extremely close. No, it's not. Altaria is able to get it. Maybe 10 seconds left. It's hard to tell because these battles are sped up. So my, like, clock, the internal clock is, like, off. But Chestnut now is going to get farmed down. That's going to be a good game. All right, moving to the next one. Shadow Gliscor here on the lead. They're going to go ahead and swap into Haxorus. The wing attack damage is really adding up. Night Slash now going to be coming through for neutral as well. And Haxorus already below 50% HP as they swap in a Jellicent. So double breaking swipe is going to have to be the call here. So they can apply those debuffs and get that Registeel back into this matchup. Now hopefully they can get to another one in time, which they do. The opponent is looking to really load up on energy instead of throwing right away. Try to get the Haxorus out of there, which is allowing Haxorus now to put themselves in a position where they got 2 breaking swipes off. Surf is also going to be taking them out. So now it's like, okay, they are going to come in with Registeel. Shadow Ball and Surf aren't going to do that much damage. Honestly, with double breaking swipe attack debuff, Shadow Ball, yeah, you're tickling. You're tickling the steel trash can right there, as they can safely go for Zap Cannon here. Now, if I was the opponent right there, depending on the team comp, maybe swapping out of Jellicent and keeping all that energy might have been a play. But ultimately, they're going to let it go down. They're going to swap out right away, and a Cobalion came in. Gliscor now going to be coming in. The moral of the story right now is Altaria is putting in work against teams that get rid of the hardest counter to dragons, as Altaria here with Sky Attack is going to be doing a lot of damage. Now, Cobalion, excuse me, sorry, Cobalion has the moveset to win this game, right? You got Double Kick, you got the Sacred Sword, and you got Stone Edge. I think it might be a good game, as they're going to go ahead and go for Sky Attacks now, trying to get another shield here from the Gliscor, which they do. 2 shields down, which means Registeel is actually going to be able to Focus Blast Cobalion, but Altaria really wanting to win this mid-game matchup. This is tough. I think the call is to save your shield with Registeel, right? Yeah, it's got to be the play. They're going to go ahead and let the Night Slash go through. Bring in the trash can. Here comes the Cobalion, and here comes the Sacred Sword spam. And I think Cobalion is actually going to take this one. All it needs is 2 more Sacred Swords to win this game, and Focus Blast may not be enough damage. This is why I was thinking it needed 2 shields instead of 1. Yeah, Focus Blast was not enough, unfortunately. So this is going to be a good game. They can go for the double, and yeah, they're going to let it go through. So a tough call right there. Ultimately, they had to make that call, though, of either shielding or not, saving 2 shields or not. All right, we got Sylveon here on the lead with a swap out into Snorlax, so Haxorus is coming in to have a good day right here. You got a Fairy lead and a Snorlax safe swap. Like, this is the best case scenario you can ask for. They do shield the Body Slam, though, as they're going for the Breaking Swipe. This is something to note if you guys want to maintain health. It's always better, especially with a Pokemon that has a debuff attack move like Haxorus right here, to shield that first charge move, because this next Body Slam is not going to do as much damage because of the attack drop. So So they're going to be able to farm down, and now they have an Earthquake ready to go for Sylveon, which that damage is really going to help out instead of the Breaking Swipe debuff. I think that was Sylveon that came back in, because the Breaking Swipe debuff isn't going to affect Registeel, but the Earthquake damage is what is so needed right there. And the final oh geez, that is a checkmate. Altaria is going to be taken, unless Swampert has Sludge Wave, which I doubt. Hydro Cannons will still chip away, but Dragon Breath is ultimately going to be taken. Yeah, Altaria is going to take this all day long. And Registeel has such a good matchup against Sylveon that there's nothing they can do. So this is, I believe this might be the final battle. This is going to be a good game. They're just going to go ahead and just keep Dragon Breathing down. And ultimately, the alignment right here was key, right? You got Registeel into Sylveon, you had the Haxorus into Snorlax, and that shield was very key as well. That first one that we talked about, because of the Breaking Swipe debuff, shield that first Body Slam as Hydro Cannon, not enough to KO. They're going to go ahead and commit to that farm down. The opponent does get to another charge move, but it's not going to matter, as the Altaria is going to be taking this one. They swap out right away into Registeel so they can go for Zap Cannon. The opponent does surrender. Oh, we got one more game. All right, Tapu Fini here on the lead. Another Fairy matchup, but this case, or in this battle, the Water Gun and Surf damage is going to be adding up against the Registeel. So they're going to go ahead and go for a Surf, and they might look to try to catch a charge move on something that they might have in the back. There's the swap, and it was another Registeel. That's a beautiful catch, as Zap Cannon's not going to do as much damage because it's only neutral, but hopefully they get the attack drop, and they do. So now this is an interesting situation where they didn't bring in Haxorus right away. Kind of confused on that one. They got the attack drop. They decide to no-shield Focus Blast as well, and now they're going to come in with Haxorus and fully counter down. I don't think that... Okay, they are going to go for Breaking Swipe. All right. Playing a bit differently than I would, but let's see how this pays off for them. Breaking Swipe drops the attack, so Focus Blast is now not going to do as much damage, so they can easily survive. I think they would have survived anyways without the debuff, but now they should be able to get to an Earthquake in time versus Tapu Fini. It does have a lot of energy, but Earthquake, yeah, they are able to get to it here, and this is where the tough call of keeping Registeel in was happening, because... Oh, actually, they might be able to counter down. The opponent is now forced to throw. And this energy is going to be crucial because the only damage that Tapu Fini can threaten Altaria with is Moonblast. And I don't think they have enough health remaining to get to it in time. But maybe this is it. Maybe they shield. No, they're going to call it. And it was just the Surf. Beautiful call right there, as the final Pokemon is going to be a Shadow Mewtwo that decides to surrender. So that is going to be a good battle. Ultimately, pretty cool team. So shout out to Star-Lord right here for bringing Registeel, Haxorus, and Altaria. Haxorus obviously putting in a lot of work with that new Breaking Swipe move. Registeel does what it does, and Altaria was great to see it do well in this meta. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and like always, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.